But again, I'm not taking square footage and multiplying the squares that are going to be needed for the roof based on the square footage of the home. I'm not doing that. I do recommend you do it if you're newer to the rehabbing industry, but I just don't need to do that. I've done enough rehabs to know when I walk up, this rehab's going to cost me 50. This rehab's going to cost me 42. But what I do want to know is I don't want to turn a $8,000 roof into a $12,000 roof. And I want to make sure that if I have to replace all the plumbing in this thing, that's an extra expense that I wasn't quite expecting. And then lo and behold, I pop my little head up into that attic, and I'm not, there are a few things up there. Let's take a little accounting as to when you get up in that roof. You're looking at your decking on the roof, right?
Uh-huh.
So if you haven't accounted for decking and you see that there's a lot of decking that needs to be replaced, you're glad you popped your head up into that roof.
Mm-hmm.
There is also your galvanized pipe. And so when you pop your head up into that attic, how many people had frozen pipes during our freeze? And
Yep.
You look up there and then sometimes you see all this patchwork up there.
Yeah.
You're going to have to replace that to get it through an inspection when you go retail. So maybe if I never would have stuck my head up in there, I would not have known that. And then one of the last things that can cost you around $1,000, $1,200, whatever it is, depending on the size of the home, I want to see that ductwork up there.
Mm-hmm.
I can ask the seller about the furnace. I can get the year of the condenser on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
I want to put my eyes on that stuff. And I also come across as an actual buyer because I am an actual buyer. I'm going to close
Mm-hmm.
on this. I'm not just going to go try to shop the deal and then back out if something comes up. And if I'm the buyer, if I'm going to close and I'm going to put my money on this property, I need to know those things. So yeah, I don't spend long, as we've already established. I'm looking at this house for a good 10 whole minutes, but 3 minutes, I pop my head up into that attic for sure.
So do you have like a sheet? Do you use freestyle paper? You write your own notes? How do you make sure you don't miss these things?
I write a lot of notes as I'm going through. I'm taking notes with what I need to do on the house, what's in really rough shape, what possibly could get by. I'll write the year of the hot water heater, of the HVAC, of the ducts. Ducts are fine. A very common thing that I write in my notes is foundation not showing too much evidence, but I need to get it checked out. Or foundation needs it. Foundation needs it. And so when I go back in my notes, I know I'm doing this needs foundation repair.
So you don't have a pre-typed sheet with the list of things? You just freestyle?
I wish I did. You're making me sound very inadequate here. I know they're out there. I've seen them before. I suggest if they work for you to use it. But again, I am really focused on the seller.
It's only because you've done it for so long, right? So you know
Absolutely.
exactly what you're looking for.
Absolutely. And here is something that I do that is a little more along the lines of what you're suggesting. In my notes, I will do, if it's pretty much just a lipstick, right? I'll have my square footage. I know exactly what I pay for square footage for paint. I know exactly what I pay per square footage for flooring. Things like that. I know exactly what it costs me to remove a tub and put a stand-up shower in there. I know those numbers like the back of my hand. And then when I go with my contractor and we're doing these numbers, it's pretty much the same number, or this per square foot for this. And when I'm running my numbers to give my offer, sometimes on occasion I will do that. I know exactly how much my 3-piece appliance package is. So I'll throw in appliances. Granted, that's a little more of a ballpark because I'm not measuring their counters. Right. That's not what we're talking about while I'm in there. But I'll put, the granite, the paint, the flooring, and I have price per square foot for pretty much all of that. And if I need to do a new shower, I know within a few hundred, with, for sure within $500, what that's going to cost me, I will line out those particular things. And so then I'll end up with an $18,000 number on just that lipstick. I'm going to throw an extra $2,000 in there because I have to replace all the faucets, the fixtures. If you replace granite, you don't just add the cost of the granite and the granite labor. Now you've got that plumber in there, and you've got new fixtures going on that granite. So it's not just granite. So I'll throw an extra $2,000 on that, some landscaping, done.
Okay, so do you have a sequence that you follow? Like, do you start from the outside, go inside, do you go inside, outside? Like, do you have a sequence of when you walk the property with the seller? Hey, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.
I don't have a sequence when I walk the property with the seller. I just kind of let them show me the house however they want to show me the house. And again, we're talking about other things as we're going through. And I have a sequence after I buy it, though, for sure.
Let me take you back to the appointment just a little bit more.
Sure.
On this appointment, do you already have a vision, like every house you walk into, do you have a vision? Because, you said you're only there, and within that 10 minutes, you got to decide what you got to do with the property. At that moment, you already form a vision of what this property will look like when it's finished. And how do you base that on? Like, how do you decide this floor is okay to keep? This carpet is okay to keep? Is it just because of the age factor, or does it have to do with other property in the area? Like, do you look at the other properties and see what's done so you can decide what to do with yours before you go to the appointment?
Those are great questions, because yes, and the answer to all of that is yes. So to start out with, when I walk inside of a home, it is second nature to me. I can't get away from it. I'm automatically, from the time I get into that home, looking at what I would do with this property. And there are some times where I know I'm definitely going to do the rehab on this. Again, from what my inventory looks like, what my cash position is, all of those things. That's all a factor. How many rehabs I have going, what size of a rehab I'm looking at doing. So let's say it checks all the boxes. I'm excited about this rehab, and it's this house has been in the family for a very long time. Those are my favorite. I mean, I enjoy what I do. And when I can turn a family home back into its, I say that I'm bringing it back to its former glory. Like, those are my favorite. So I'm absolutely, from the time my feet hit the floor inside, I'm looking at what I'm going to do with the property. And as we're talking, I'm looking at this kitchen layout. But also keep in mind, I don't rehab the majority of my rehabs. I'm not rearranging stuff. I'm keeping it as is. I would say it's not even 50% that I'm removing walls, etc. I'm thinking, I'm going to put this here, a big one, a really big one, especially if I'm able to put cabinets. If I can put some 36 cabinets, I wouldn't really do a 42 unless it's a higher price range. But I'm already looking when I walk inside that they have 32 cabinets, 32-inch cabinets in there. There's a space above these cabinets because it's an 8-foot ceiling. Well, their microwave is sitting on the counter. Who likes that, V?
Nobody.
Who likes a countertop microwave to take away countertop space?
Yeah, they golden.
In a small kitchen. I mean, so I know what I want to do for this kitchen. It can be as easy as this. Put some 36 inches in here cabinets, put them all the way to the ceiling with some crown. Then I can put my microwave above my range, and I've just changed the kitchen, right? It can be as simple as that. It can be as simple as that. Or I can remove this wall, put the refrigerator over here, run a water line. Well, now, again, it's money. So it's what is your budget?
I've been asked a lot about passive investments. And let's be real. There is nothing passive about being a landlord unless you have a really good property management company. So if you own an Airbnb or a short-term rental and you want to get back your time, please give our team at Buzz Vacation Rental a call at 281-549-8432 or go to our website at pm.buzzvacationrentals.com.